valued guests. It is a dark and stormy night, which means it is time for some tales of horror. Tonight's tale is about two crazy investigators, Akachi Onyele and Carolyn Fern, who ended up in Venice after having a run-in Arkham, Massachusetts, with a lunatic wearing a mask named Zani. He had strange symbols and just kept rambling and rambling about the carnivale that was coming. Well, the two ladies went to Venice to investigate and got themselves into some deep trouble. The two ladies mixed scientific discipline with the mystic arts to attempt to get to the heart of the matter. I call this tale the Carnivale of Horrors. These are the modifiers that we'll use during the scenario when we pull a special chaos token. Last minute ocean liner tickets from Boston to Italy set Carolyn and Akachi back a fair bit of dough. But after a tense journey, they arrive in Venice. The Carnivale has already begun, and the city is in celebration. Colorful confetti runs from above, covering the streets. Many revelers throng in the Piazza San Marco, the square outside the basilica. The parade is to begin shortly. They find the nearest uniformed carabinieri and show him a copy of the symbol they transcribed from Zani's mask. He pauses to decide their trustworthiness, nods, and escorts them into the basilica to see the Abbess Allegra di Biase. The Abbess addresses Carolyn and Akachi privately. "So you know what is coming?" They nod. "Then you know what must be done. They are using the celebration as a sacrifice to their wretched master. Bring as many innocents as you can here, where I can protect them. But beware, the creature's servants will try to blend into the crowd with their false masks." Our starting location will be San Marco Basilica, where we'll drop off the innocent revelers that we find. Abbess Allegra di Biase is there to help us, and the goal is to find these masked carnivale goers at each location, flip them over, and hopefully find an innocent reveler to rescue. Sometimes they may be evildoers trying to thwart us. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and shuffle Akachi's deck and pull our 5 cards. We got Song of the Dead, Quantum Flux, Arcane Initiate, Spirit Speaker. Nice, we got our signature card right in the beginning, and another Song of the Dead. So let's figure out what we're going to keep. I think Quantum Flux probably needs to get reshuffled in, so we'll get that one and pull a different card. And it's one of our weaknesses. Actually, that's a permanent, so that should go back. We got Suggestion, which is an amazing card. I'm really happy I got that in the first draw. This is a really nice opening hand for Akachi. I think maybe I should have gotten rid of one of the Song of the Dead. It's kind of redundant. Bad move on my part, but it's too late. And I guess I should show you the permanents that are in play. Relic Hunter for Akachi. And then we're going to shuffle Carolyn's deck, and then we'll show you the permanents for those. We went ahead and did 29 experience, so that means we have 3 weaknesses in each deck. Nice, we got Mylan Christopher, Machete, Painkillers, Foolishness. Wow, both of them got their signature card in the first hand. And Cheat Death. That's a really good card, but I don't need it on the opening hand. Okay, I've got a plan. That'll do. That's pretty nice. So we'll shuffle Carolyn's deck and move on to the first round from there. Oh wait, actually I have to show you those permanents. So for Carolyn, I'm going with Stick to the Plan, Keen Eye to help boost some skills, and Charisma to have Mylan Christopher and Foolishness out together. And under Stick to the Plan, I am putting Shortcut, Ever Vigilant, and Dodge. And I'll talk about those cards once they come out and I actually play them. Alright, so then for weaknesses, I drew the 3 weaknesses. And again, I will mention those as soon as they come out into play. The only one that is a permanent is Akachi's, which is Indebted. Unfortunately, Mystics have a hard time already with resource management, and this is pretty crippling for her. She starts the game with 2 fewer resources, so basically she's starting with 3. So after speaking with the abbess, Carolyn sees the urgency of the situation and is ever vigilant, takes it right out of stick to the plan, lets her play 3 assets from her hand, reducing the cost of each by 1. So she's going to go ahead and call in her friend, Dr. Mylan Christopher, as well as pull out her machete and her painkillers, just in case she gets a little bit hurt. She is a bit of a drug addict. And the painkillers start with 3 supplies, so she can do that 3 times. So Carolyn will ask Abbess DiBiase's help. So Abbess DiBiase will use her ability to move Carolyn for free into the Bridge of Sighs. And once we get there, we see it. There's 2 clues available there. And once we leave that location, we'll take a horror. That kind of sucks, but it is what it is. So Carolyn's going to go ahead and investigate with the help of Mylan Christopher. Her base goes a 5 with his help. And that's a 0. That's good enough. So we get a clue. And Mylan Christopher gives us a resource. Nice. So I think Carolyn's going to try to investigate one more time. Again, a base skill of 4 with a +1 from Mylan. And that's a -4, giving us a 1. And the number needed is 1. That's the Shroud Valley, so we do get that last clue, which gives us another resource from Mylan Christopher. Very productive first round from Carolyn. That was very well done. Hopefully Akachi has a similar experience. So Akachi has some expensive spells in her opening hand and only 3 resources. So she'll go ahead and use 2 actions to get 2 resources. So now we've got 5. And we'll spend 3 of those resources. We'll play Suggestion, which is an amazing card. It starts with 4 charges. You can evade an enemy at a base skill of her base evade is 3, but her willpower is 5, so she's going to evade at an 8. And if she succeeds by 2 or more, she won't use a charge. She can use a reaction to avoid damage from an enemy attack. So that's really a great spell for her survival. During upkeep, we gain a resource, and we'll go ahead and draw a card. And looks like Akachi gets Fearless. Pretty good card. Gives her a willpower boost for a skill check. Ooh, and we get Reliable for Carolyn. That it couldn't have come at a better time, right in the beginning of the game. So it's a fast action card, which will give our machete more attack ability. During the Mythos phase, we pull, and this is for Carolyn, we pull Mesmerize. There are no Mass Carnivaligours that get Surge, otherwise we flip it. If there is a Innocent Reveler, we have to deal it 1 damage. So we'll go ahead and flip the Mass Carnivaligour at the Bridge of Sighs. And it looks like it is an enemy, Don Ligorio. And he is a hunter. Deals 2 damage and 4/4/3. That's kind of tough. Carolyn's attack value right now is a 3, so that's going to be difficult. Akachi's draw is the Watcher's Gaze. She has to test 4 willpower, and she'll take a horror if she fails. We don't control any Innocent Reveler, so really Akachi's going to be the only one taking the test. And let's see what we get. We pull a Skull. So what does that do? Skull is a -2, or an additional -1 for Innocent Revelers under the agenda, which is not there. So that puts us below the number needed, so we do take a horror. Okay, so for Carolyn, right away we'll go ahead and put that Reliable right on our machete. So we will attack with +1 to all our skills whenever we attack with the machete. Base goes 2, machete gives a +1, so Reliable gives another +1. We'll be attacking with a 4. Don Ligorio doesn't retaliate, so we're just going to go ahead and try to kill him. -1, that's not good enough, and this is probably going to be a long shot trying to hit this guy, even for even numbers. The Reliable is a fast action, so we can do it without taking an opportunity attack. We can go ahead and play that, so that's why we did that. And second attack, we drew a Skull, so I think we saw that earlier. That is a -2, so that's not good enough. I think this might have been a mistake. Yeah. So Tentacle, that will be a -4. And if Nidathqua is in play, it attacks us, but it's not in play. So that was a wasted turn Bad play, Vase. Bad play. So Akachi will have Abbess DiBiase move her as a free action, and she'll go ahead and spend 2 resources to play Song of the Dead, which will start off with 6 charges. It'll give her an attack bonus of +1, so she'll attack with a base of 6 when she uses it. And if she pulls a skull token, she'll do 3 total damage, which is pretty phenomenal. And we'll go ahead and use Suggestion in order to try and evade Don Ligorio so he doesn't attack us during the enemy phase, because we're not going to kill him this turn. So 8 versus a 3, -3 is good enough, so he is evaded. Alright, so no enemy phase because the enemy was exhausted, so we'll ready him. Upkeep phase, we each get a resource and we draw a card. So Akachi gets Shriveling, another great offensive spell. But I think we'll keep the Song of the Dead for now because it has more charges. St. Hubert's Key, pretty good card for Carolyn. Alright, and then Mythos phase, now we are at 2 Doom counters, and we'll draw our encounter cards. So Carolyn goes first, and she draws Abduction. Test 3 of the face. If you fail, you must lose all your resources, or choose an ally and discard them. So let's see, our base is 3, -4, we lose. Looks like we lose 3 resources. Kind of sucks, but it's not crippling, so we'll be fine. And Akachi pulls a Carnivale Sentinel. Pretty tough guy. They've got Retaliate, but they spawn across from you. That's 4 locations away, so we don't have to deal with them just yet. So he'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it looks like he's going to be over there. Okay, so Akachi is going to go ahead and use the Song of the Dead, bring the charges to 5. So let's go ahead and play some sweet music for Don Ligorio and see if he takes some damage. -3, this is not good enough. We're attacking with a base of 6 against a 4. -6, not good enough. Oh my god. Don Ligorio is not having these songs. So we'll go ahead and use Suggestion, which still has 4 charges left, going in 8 versus a 3. And that's a 0, so that's good enough. He is evaded, and we don't lose any charges from Suggestion. So we tell Don Ligorio, "Sir, Mr. Ligorio, please go away." So Akachi's better prepared to deal with this guy. So Akachi will leave the Bridge of Sighs and take her 1 horror. I'll go ahead and give that to her. And she's going to move on. She does not like this Don Ligorio. So we'll go ahead and reveal this location. It looks like it's the Guardian. And the flip side, looks like once we enter the Guardian, we can draw a card. So that's actually really nice. We will go ahead and take them up on that offer and draw a card for free. So we'll put our 3 clues in there, 4 clues, I'm sorry, and it looks like it's a weakness. Discard all our resources. We just discarded our resources from the last treachery. So Carolyn is spending all her money in Venice, having a good old time. She's going to try to investigate the Guardian while she's partying, and that's a 0. She gets a clue, so that gives her another resource. More money to party with. Okay, she's having a good old time, so we're going to go ahead and use the ability on the act deck and spend 2 clues to look at the person under us. We don't want it to be another bad guy again. So, Elisabetta Magro. So when we look at her, it looks like she gets to flip automatically. So we don't get to avoid her by looking at her. Basically, this is very, very bad. She's aloof. In order to kill her, we have to engage her as an action and then attack her. And she keeps getting doom on every Mythos phase. This is not good. So we'll just keep investigating for now. +1. Okay, that's good enough. So we get another clue and another resource from Mylan Christopher. We're going to have to find a way to deal with her, but for right now, we're not worried. The Doom threshold is 8, and there's only 2 Doom on the agenda, but we do have to deal with her eventually, or we're all going to die. So that is Carolyn's turn. And now the enemy phase, Elisabetta does nothing because she's aloof, and Ligorio was exhausted, so he just readies. And now for our upkeep phase, we'll gain a resource and draw a card. Akachi gets Forbidden Knowledge. So-so. We don't really need it right now, but who knows. Carolyn gets Shortcut. Always good to have that free movement without using an action. Okay, So we'll flip these girls over and add a doom to the agenda. There we go, little skulls, and we will draw Carolyn's card, and it's Mesmerize again. If there's a Carnival Gore at my location, there is not, so it gets a surge, and it looks like we pull Mass Hysteria. Take 2 damage or shuffle around the Carnival Gores. We haven't looked at any of them, so we could actually theoretically leave them as they are, but I think I'll go ahead and shuffle them, just to kind of keep things a little kosher. So we'll grab each one and shuffle them, and then we have to place them at the very next location that's empty and put them in one by one that way. So we'll go ahead and just put them there. And yeah, so far we had some really good starting hands, but enemies are already starting to become a bit of a problem. Hopefully we don't get too many more enemies for now. So Akachi's going to draw her card, and it looks like Lost in Venice. So she's lost while she's fighting Ligorio. Either take 2 horror or she'll have to move across, which would put her with another enemy. So I guess we can do that. Let's reveal the location. It looks like this is the Venetian Garden, and you can spend 2 resources and 2 actions to heal 2 horror. That doesn't seem very good. I don't think we'll be taking this location up on that offer. There are 2 clues under there, so we'll keep that in mind. But Akachi now has her hands full. She's going to be busy for a little bit. So with Carolyn, I think we're going to investigate, and that's -3. We have a 5. This Shroud is a 3, so 2 versus 3 is not good enough. Looks like we miss on that clue. We'll try again. And a skull, I think that was a -2. Let's see, and yeah, -2. So that's the number needed. We grab one more clue. There's 1 clue left. I don't want to engage Elisabetta yet because she'll attack us on the enemy phase, so don't want to do that right now. And a +1, so that gives us 6 versus 3. Good enough. We get that final clue, and we'll get a resource, and that is Carolyn's turn. Next turn, we're going to have to find a way to deal with Elisabetta, or things are going to start to get really bad soon. Okay, so now Akachi, she's got 2 monsters on her, Don Ligorio and the Carnivale Sentinel. This is going to be pretty tough. I think we're going to evade the Sentinel using Suggestion, and that's -2. She's doing an 8 versus a 3, so we keep our 4 charges, and he is evaded. That's good. That's 1 less person attacking Akachi, and she's going to use the Song of the Dead on Don Ligorio. It's down to 3 charges. Hopefully we can pull a skull and do some serious damage here, and that's a 0. So we do hit him. He takes 1 damage, but he's still got 3 health left. We need to pull that skull in order to kill him. Down to 2 charges. Come on. And it's a skull. And that is good enough to kill him, because we're going to deal 3 damage total. He has 4 health, so he dies. Don Ligorio, victory display for you, sir. And the Sentinel has been evaded, so he's not going to attack us during the enemy phase. So he'll just ready. Elisabetta is aloof, and she's not engaged with Carolyn, so she will not attack either. So now we'll go to upkeep, gain a resource, draw a card. Another Suggestion. Okay. Don't need it, but sure. And for Carolyn, we've got Liquid Courage. Great card. We've already started taking some horror, so that'll definitely help. Mythos, we're at 4 doom plus Elisabetta, that's 5. And it looks like Carolyn draws Abduction again. So face of 3 versus a 3. Going even on the skill check. And that sucks. That's a -4. Okay. So I either discard all my resources or an ally. I'm going to go with resources. Akachi pulls Watcher's Gaze, tests 4 of willpower, and she'll take a horror if she fails. Her willpower is a 5. Not an easy skill check, and she fails, so she is now at 2 horror. That kind of sucks. Akachi is getting very scared of Venice. Very scared of Venice. And Elisabetta gets a doom. So now the doom is at 6. We need to kill Elisabetta right away. She's become quite the liability, so Carolyn's going to have to engage Elisabetta. So use an engage action. 4 versus 3. It's Machete with Reliable. So Machete gives me a +1. So that's her base is 2, +1 is 3, and Reliable gives another +1. So that's a 4. A 4 against Elisabetta's cheek of 3. -6. The Machete misses. We'll try the left cheek. Machete, left side of the face, -1. So that looks like it's good enough. Carolyn swings her machete, striking Elisabetta on her left cheek for 2 damage. We need to kill her next round, or it's going to be a serious problem. Alright, Akachi is going to now try to deal with this Carnevale Sentinel. First, we'll have to use Suggestion. Still has 4 charges, going an 8 versus a 3. And let's try this. If we win by 2 or more, and that's -1. That's more. That's definitely 2 or more, so we don't lose a charge. That way we can attack it freely with Song of the Dead without fear of retaliation. So let's try this. We'll sing a little song for this Carnevale Sentinel. Sing a song. Ooh, and that is a Elder Sign. So looks like the Song of the Dead has gained a charge. It has now gone to 2 charges. And the Sentinel takes a damage. It's got 2 health left. Let's see if we can pull a skull. Come on. Come on. We're down to 1 charge on this thing after this. And that's a -1. That's good enough. So it looks like we hit it for another 1 point of damage. And now we'll go ahead and ready the enemies. And we'll go ahead and get our resource and draw a card for our upkeep phase. Resource, and we will draw a card. Carolyn draws, and it is True Grit. Nice. This will help her be able to tank a little bit of more damage. Carolyn has found her toughness in Venice. Akachi gets a Decorated Skull. This could be helpful. When we play it, it'll have 1 charge. So, see how many cards we have. And so it looks like we don't have to discard any just yet. Carolyn is... okay. Yep. No discard. So Mythos phase. It looks like we are at now 5, 6, 7. And we draw Mass Hysteria. So, take 2 damage or shuffle the people around. I think this time we're just not going to shuffle them. We just shuffle them to the same place. We don't know what's under there. And Akachi draws a Pullman, but it spawns at Canal Side, so at least we don't have to deal with it just yet. It is a hunter, so it's going to start following us. We do have a few rounds to deal with it, though. Alright. Oh, Elisabetta was supposed to attack me during the enemy phase. So, we attack her. And that misses because we're going only as a 1 above. So -4 is not good enough. We'll go again. And that is a skull. -2. -2. That's not good enough. We need to kill her. Come on. Come on. 1 more shot. And let me grab before I pull the token. We'll go ahead and add that damage from Elisabetta. There's 1 horror and 1 damage from her. So that was just the previous enemy phase, so I don't think it's a big miss. I'm glad I caught it now and not later, because then if we win the scenario, this could have completely changed the outcome. So okay, here we go. Final attack, machete to the right cheek of the face, and -1. That's good enough. Elisabetta is dead. That is a big weight off our shoulders, and she goes to the victory display. Thank goodness. Carolyn is now exhausted. Too much partying. We'll go ahead and use shortcut. It doesn't take an action to do this, so fast action. Let's go ahead and move. She spent too much time at this location, and that other hunter is going to start following. So I think it's a good time for us to use it. She moves into the streets of Venice, which gives us a free movement when we want to use it. And there are 2 clues in the streets of Venice. So Carolyn continues her investigation, little by little discovering more and more about this evil presence in Venice. Akachi is going to continue trying to deal with this Sentinel. You suggesting to exhaust it so it won't retaliate, and that's a -1. Good enough. We don't lose any charges. It gets exhausted, and now we're going to freely attack it with Song of the Dead. It's got 1 charge left. Come on. If it runs out, we still have Shriveling we could play or another song. Okay, this is a Cultist token. And it says we have to reveal another token. If we fail, we draw an encounter card. So we got to make this one. Come on. And +1. Good enough. So it looks like this Sentinel is dead. Akachi's song has finally started to hurt his ears. And the Sentinel goes bye-bye. Well, Akachi's out of the woods. But she is exhausted. So she'll take another break where she's at. Enemy phase, so we'll go ahead and get our upkeep resources and move this Poleman 1 spot, and then we'll go ahead and draw our cards. Akachi gets Astral Travel, great card actually for this scenario. We can move around the board 1 time, or we can move to another location anywhere on the board. And Carolyn gets Cheat Death, a nice kind of get out of jail free card if she takes enough damage to die. So panic button card. We have to get rid of a card for Akachi. We'll get rid of Forbidden Knowledge. We really don't need the resources. We're actually swimming in them. Akachi's been very frugal on her trip to Venice, unlike Carolyn. And Mythos phase, we are at 6 Doom. We've got a couple more rounds before that agenda moves. And Carolyn sees the Watcher's Gaze. Testing, again, a 3 versus a 4. This is not an easy check for her. There's only 2 tokens that will help her win this, and that's not one of them. So she goes ahead and takes a horror. Okay. Fun times. And Akachi is going to pull Acrid Miasma. Looks like that's going to go on the location next to her. Anytime anyone moves there, the smell is so foul because of all the bodies that are lying around that they'll going to take some harm. And we'll go ahead and investigate this location, and that's an auto-fail token. Okay, first one of the night. Carolyn tries again. 2 auto-fails. That's not fun. And a -1, so it looks like she picks up a clue, and she gets a resource from Mylan Christopher. Man, those investigate skill checks are not going well for Carolyn. Okay. Akachi, let's see. We're going to play the Decorated Skull. It comes into play with 1 charge, and as I kill things, I get more charges, which is very nice, because then I can gain resources and draw cards. Card draw is definitely helpful. And we'll go ahead and play Spirit Speaker. This will let me kick back a spell to my hand if it's running low on charges, and I can replay it and regain all the charges, or I can use the charges for resources, although it doesn't look like I'm going to need that right now. Probably not for a while. So we'll go ahead and take our resources to play these cards. Akachi is finally getting set up pretty well. We'll use the free action ability of Spirit Speaker to kick back Song of the Dead to our hand. That way we can play it again and get all our resources or our charges back on it. So we'll play 2, play Song of the Dead again. It's back to 6 charges. Very nice. Makes me wish I hadn't kept that other Song of the Dead in my hand. Okay, so that's phase. So we gain a resource and draw a card. Ooh, very nice. Seal of the Elder Sign. That's an auto pass with an Elder Sign on any skill check, any 1 skill check. That is really powerful. Carolyn gets Fearless. This will be nice once we bring Foolishness in. Now we've got the cards we need to heal Foolishness and get ourselves boosted. Making sure I don't have to discard anything. Okay, good. So, oh yeah, so I think I forgot to resolve the Hunter keyword on the last guy, so we'll go ahead and move him now. Now I can bring Foolishness in, and Liquid Courage, feed it a little bit of the liquor, some sweet juice, and Foolishness will then be healed, hopefully in a couple actions. Okay, so we pull the Carnivale Sentinel, so it looks like another one of these guys, and he will be at the canal side, okay? And a Poleman, which spawns at canal side. Great. Fun times. Now we are being hunted. Alright, so we'll go ahead and spend 2 clues to take a look at this innocent reveler. Oh, nice. Yes, it is an innocent reveler. Very good, very good. And then we will spend a clue to reveal the one under here. Should I look at it? Yeah, that's probably a good idea. We'll go ahead and look at it. We'll spend the 2 and we will take a look before we flip it. And it's probably good that we did that because it's another bad guy. So I don't feel like we wasted the clues, but those did take a few actions. We'll go ahead and use shortcut again. That's my last shortcut, and we'll move on to the flooded square. 2 clues, and ooh, this is nice. We can evade a non-elite enemy at the location previous, so that's very, very cool. That can actually come in very handy with these hunters coming after us. Alright. And we'll spend our last clue to flip this one, which we know is an innocent reveler. So next round we'll pick her up and we'll go and drop her off at the Abbey and Abbess DiBiase. Kachi plays Arcane Initiate. I don't really need spells. I got plenty of spells in my hand, but I'm hoping for a Storm of Spirits. That would be nice. But first, I will draw a card as an action, and it's a Grotesque Statue. Very nice. Great card. You can use this card to draw 2 tokens instead of 1 and pick one. That is super powerful. And it comes into play with 5 charges because of Akachi's ability. So that's pretty awesome. So we'll go ahead and play that card, and that will end our turn. The pole man moves, the other pole man moves, and that is the enemy phase. Upkeep will gain a resource and draw a card. Alright, so we draw another liquid courage. So it looks like we have 2 bottles of our favorite delicious juice to feed our cat. Ooh, Kachi gets Angered Spirits, but that's not bad. That really only is harmful in campaign mode, so it's a very, very mild weakness in solo play. In fact, it's a non-weakness in solo play for Akachi. It just wastes a card draw for her. That's really all it does. That's negative. So it looks like we have reached the Doom Threshold, so the agenda will flip. Alright, and it looks like it is the Baleful Reveler. This guy is tough. He's got 10 health, and he gets to move twice sometimes. You have to pull from the Chaos Bag when he moves from the enemy phase, and if you pull a special token, he gets to move again. So that's not good. Alright. Shadow of the Eclipse. The clamor and celebration of the Carnivale has for the most part drowned out the terrors you've seen in the city. Until now, the sun vanishes behind the moon, and darkness overtakes the sky. There's a solitary cry and the sound of crushing water. Within moments, screams erupt throughout the city, and yet somehow you see revelers still celebrating with wide, crazed smiles. So, this is not good. We already have 2 enemies hunting us, and now we have a 3rd, and he's really strong. Alright, so we'll pull from the encounter deck, and let's see. It looks like another Acrid Miasma. So, more smells around the city of Venice. Lots and lots of fun smells. And Mass Hysteria. Again, the innocent revelers, or the masked carnivaligores, get flipped around. So we'll go ahead and do it since we've revealed 2 of them. And we'll just shuffle them, and they get to move ahead of us. So that's kind of a good thing. Kind of good, kind of bad. But we'll go ahead and do that so they get put in the locations clockwise from us in order. Alright, there we go. And Carolyn's going to take her turn. We need to get this innocent reveler, so we will take a look at this. Evade this enemy, the previous location. Okay, so we'll go ahead and evade him, and he is evaded. That'll buy us some time. We'll go ahead and get that innocent reveler, try and parley with her, Hopefully we get this, and that is successful. So we now have control of an innocent reveler. We gotta go drop her off at the Basilica. Okay. And now I think we'll try and get that other clue in there. One of the two clues, and -2. The shroud value is a 4, so that is not successful. So that is Carolyn's turn. And now it is Akachi's turn. Akachi's finally set up. We're going to use Arcane Initiate's ability. That way, hopefully we can get a Storm of Spirits. And the only spell is Rite of Seeking. We don't really need it, but it's the only spell, so we'll go ahead and put that in our hands and shuffle our deck. Things are going so-so for us. They're not going super great, and they're not going terrible. We haven't lost any innocent revelers, and we've killed a couple of the big bads. There's quite a few in this scenario. So, and for Akachi, we'll go ahead and use our astral travel so she can get to Carolyn. So she's going to go ahead and move in there to help her fight this baleful reveler. And astral travel requires us to pull a token from the chaos bag. Otherwise, we have to discard an item or ally. So let's go ahead and pull. If it's a special token, we have to discard. So let's see, and it is a 0, so we don't have to discard anything. Good. Okay, and that does it for Akachi. Enemy phase, so these things are coming after us. They are coming strong. This is going to be a big fight. I think we may either have to just run or hold our ground and try to kill as many of those as possible. So I think we may just hunker down here and try to kill these guys, and then we'll continue with our investigations, because these guys are just going to keep hunting us. Oh, nice. Mind over matter. This is going to be handy. Let's see. And it looks like we have too many cards. I have 2 Liquid Courage, so I think I can discard 1. It's not a big deal. And for Akachi, she draws Torrent of Power. Excellent. This is going to be great. This will ensure that we hit this big guy when we're going for a big blow. So Mythos phase, we add a Doom to the agenda and pull our encountered cards. And looks like it's another Sentinel. God, these guys are annoying. They hit hard too, and they retaliate. So they are definitely tough opponents, and they have 3 health, which makes them kind of annoying as well. And now they're at the Basilica, which is where we have to drop off the Reveler. Oh God. Okay, this is not good. I think I will take the Horror, because I can't afford to have just one of the investigators dealing with this big guy. So Carolyn, nice. So we go ahead and pick up that clue. We'll go ahead and get a resource as well. And because she pulled the Elder Sign, she gets to heal the Horror from Akachi and give her a resource. We're going to play Foolishness. This is going to really help us. Once we heal Foolishness, then we're going to have +1 to all of our stats, which is really going to help as well. So I'm going to play my other Liquid Courage, and this is one of the tools needed in order to heal Foolishness of his Horror. So we'll go ahead and play that, and that will end Carolyn's turn. Akachi, she's going to use the ability on the location to try and evade the pole man. So he's evaded. He's not going to move from his hunter keyword. That'll buy us around. And she'll take 2 resources, and that'll end her turn. Okay, so enemy phase. This guy moves, the pole man, these ugly fish creatures, and the baleful reveler enters our location and engages Akachi. Carolyn is going to help Akachi dodge this thing, so it doesn't deal any damage this round. So we'll play that right from our prepared, or stick to the plan. Alright, we draw cards. Okay, Quantum Flux, I'm not sure that we need that, but at least it's got a wild icon. And the gun, again, we have a weapon, so didn't need either one of those cards. Mythos is one doom away from flipping, and looks like we pull a Writhing Appendage. So now we are in trouble. This thing engages Carolyn, and it's not too tough, but it does retaliate. Oh my god, another Writhing Appendage. So it looks like now we have 3 enemies at our location. 2 are engaged with Akachi, and 1 is engaged with Carolyn. We need to do something, or we are going to die right here. Alright, so Carolyn's going to attack the Writhing Appendage. She will commit the gun for its fight icon, so she's going 5 versus 2, and the skull was a -2. So, and there's no Innocent Revelers under the agenda deck, so 5 versus 2 is good enough. So she machetes the tentacle and chops it into pieces. Bye-bye tentacle, back into the water with you. Okay, what should we do? We'll go ahead and engage the other tentacle and try the same thing. We're not going to commit any cards, we're just going to go 4 versus 2. You know what, let's keep him back on Akachi. Carolyn, we're going to have to use Liquid Courage, and we're going to try and heal Foolishness, because if we pull more enemies next round, we're going to need that +1. So we use the supply, feed Foolishness a little bit of the juice, and Foolishness is feeling good. So now we're going to do the test. The Liquid Courage requires us to do. It's a willpower test, and we'll commit Fearless, which will heal 2 additional horror if I succeed by 2 or more. So the test is at 2. My willpower currently is at 3, but I've committed this card that gives me 2 more. So I'm going 5 versus 2. And Akachi's going to commit a Fearless. So Akachi will heal horror if she heals. So, or she succeeds. So that's going to be 6 versus 2. And let's see. Oh my god, it's an Elder Sign. So Foolishness is healed, so I get to heal a ton of horror here. Foolishness heals 2, 2 from the committed card, and then Carolyn heals 1 from pulling the Elder Sign, and Akachi heals 1 from her committed card. So that was a really nice horror healing round. Perfect. Okay, everyone's partying up in Venice. That liquor is flowing, and everyone's feeling good. Okay, Akachi will use the suggestion on the Baleful Reveler. It's got 4 charges, and that is good enough. And it is wins by more than 2, so Baleful Reveler is evaded, and suggestion keeps its charges. So now we're going to use our second action to evade the Pullman that's in the location right before us. And we're going to try to use a charge from our Song of the Dead and try to sing this tentacle to sleep. Let's go ahead and try this. Come on, it's going to be a 5 versus 2. That is not good enough. That is a -4. And Nindakokwa is not in place, so it looks like it doesn't attack us. I think I'm just going to call it Shaniqua. It's going to be a little bit simpler. Tentacle takes the damage, but it doesn't die. So it is going to attack us this phase. So all those things ready. Akachi gets a tentacle to her face, and she's not happy about it. She's going to try to keep singing to it next round, and hopefully it goes to sleep. Okay. Alright, this is exactly what I needed. Oh my god. And with a writhing tentacle there, oh my god. Another enemy. Well, it's got 3 health, but if Akachi can pull off the Storm of Spirits, then everything there is going to take some good damage. So, looks like the agenda is going to flip. If we can land that Storm of Spirits, we'll be in a much better position. So, The shadow of the eclipse is unrelenting. Throughout the city, a dull chant overtakes the screaming and the chaos, its language ancient and morbid. Tentacles course through the canals from the south, weaving beneath bridges and trapping entire islands within their grasp. So now we get to flip a masked carnivaligor of our choice, and if it's an innocent reveler, it's going to go under the agenda deck, so they're basically going to get sacrificed. And unfortunately, it is an innocent reveler. So looks like one bites the dust and goes under the agenda to be sacrificed to Shaniqua. Okay, that is not good. So in counter cards, Carolyn pulls Chaos in the Water. So she has to test a 4 agility, and if she fails, she'll take a damage which has to be assigned to the innocent reveler that she controls right now. So that's not a good test for her. Her base is a 2, and she gets +1 from Foolishness. So let's see here. And we pull a -1. So that is a 2, so it looks like we take a damage. Innocent Reveler has been hurt by a tentacle. Not good. Okay. We're going to have to make a run for the Basilica and drop that one off. And another Writhing Appendage. Wow, we are just surrounded by enemies here. Akachi really needs to make that spell go off. So we have some tools to help us do that. Here we go. First things first, we're going to cast Torrent of Power, which lets us take charges from some of our other assets and get a +1 willpower and a +1 wild icon. So basically +2 willpower for each charge. So I think what we're going to do is take a charge from the Decorated Skull, and we'll take a charge from the statue, the grotesque statue. So we'll take 1 from that one and 1 from that one, so we'll get a +5 total, because the Torrent of Power gives us 1 willpower as it is, and then we're getting +4 from the 2 charges, so that's +5. Our base willpower is 5, so that's a +10 that we are attacking with. I think that will be good enough. We're going versus a 2, so the only thing that can help us fail is the tentacle, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to give us another shot by using a charge from the statue. Alright, so that way, let's cast Storm of Spirits. We'll have to use our Chthonian or grotesque statue to make sure that this lands. So we'll use a charge, so we'll pull 2 tokens and we'll pick 1 to resolve, and the statue now has 3 charges. Here we go. I think that we're going to make this. I mean, even if we pull the tentacle, we could just pick that one to go back in the bag. So I don't think there's a way we can fail this, but we'll see. And we pull a -1. Very good. Oh, actually, I was supposed to pull 2 out, so -1 and a skull. Okay, so we'll drop the skull in, and that's -1, which means 2 damage. The 2 writhing appendages are going to die immediately, and this mob guy is going to take 2 damage, and then the Baleful Reveler will take 2 damage as well. So he's at 3 damage, and the mob boss should be able to be killed pretty quickly and easily shortly. So now, because these things died, the skull is going to get some charges for each thing that dies, and we'll use Suggestion to exhaust the Baleful Reveler so that he can leave us alone for another round. So Baleful Reveler, you go away. Okay, and he does go away, and we don't lose any charges. Very, very good. This is going our way. But remember, we have 2 hunters after us, which is not going to be good. So we'll go ahead and exhaust one by using the ability on our location. If anything, all these enemies are basically just slowing us down. We're not doing too bad. We haven't taken a whole lot of damage. I think we're keeping the big bad contained with Suggestion, and I think we'll be able to kill the other ones in a few rounds. It's just going to take us some time, which is unfortunate because that is what we do not have. Okay, so we're going to attack this guy and kill him. And and we'll go ahead and get that final clue from this location. And that's a skull, so there's an innocent reveler there now, so we get an additional -1. So that's actually -3, and we're investigating at a 5, so the clue goes back. It looks like we failed that check. Let's instead try to kill this guy that's holding us down. So if we machete him, he'll take 2 damage, so let's try that. So we are going right now. Nice! Okay, so it looks like we machete the Baleful Reveler right in the abdomen while he is being distracted by Akachi. Very, very good. Okay, so we're halfway there. We just need to deal 5 more damage to him, and then he'll finally be out of our tails. And this guy comes in, and he's going to attack. So he does 1 of each. Carolyn takes some damage and horror from this fish thing. Oh man, Venice is not a nice place at all. Definitely not. Enemies ready. And then we'll gain a resource and draw a card. Okay. Hoping we don't draw more enemies. We are almost done with this batch. And with the way this scenario works, looks like we can easily get to... Oh, nice. Okay. Well, actually, no. That's not really going to help us much. We'll probably end up committing that for the willpower icons. And Mr. Relay. Okay. For Carolyn, that'll definitely help her survivability. She can also start assisting with evades if I can get that on the board. Let's see, do we have too many cards? 4, 5, 6. Nope, not too many, so fine. Akachi 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we're good on that front. Hopefully we can, maybe we can actually kill this guy this round. This actually, it might be a possibility, and that would be a huge weight off our shoulders. Alright, so Doom goes on the agenda, and we draw an encounter. Lost in Venice. Oh my god. Oh, that's not good. I'm gonna have to take the horror. I cannot afford to leave this location right now. So Carolyn gets lost while trying to avoid some stuff, and then looks like Akachi is gonna get attacked by a tentacle in the water. Carolyn's gonna have to make the check as well, so let's see. Akachi actually she fails, and Carolyn, test of 4, yeah, she makes it because of foolishness, and she gets to heal hard. Akachi failed her check, she got a 0, so she'll take a damage. We'll give it to the Arcane Initiate. She served her purpose. She doesn't really have much use now. And okay, Akachi's gonna go first. I think we can take this guy out this round, so let's try and evade him again using suggestion. So we're gonna recommend to him that he leave us alone. Let's do it. And 0, so she gets to exhaust him, and she'll use the ability on the location to exhaust the poleman, and we'll go ahead and now beat down on this guy. I think we're going to be able to do some damage here. So first, let's see here, we'll Song of the Dead. We're down to 4 charges after this, so we're using 1 from 5 to 4, and let's do this. Come on, we'll use a grotesque statue to assist us, and that's down to 2 charges. Hopefully that'll help us find a skull so we can do some extra damage with that. So here we go, and we pull 2 tokens. No skull, but the attack is good enough. So we do 1 damage, and the guy's down to 4 health, little by little. Alright, Carolyn is going to use Mind Over Matter. Awesome card, so that'll allow us to use our intellect to attack with, and her intellect is 4, Myelin Christopher makes it 5, Foolishness makes it 6, and Reliable gives her another +1. So we're attacking with 7, and 0 is good enough. So we're going to go ahead and deal 2 damage. Alright, so we're almost there. Almost there. Everything's almost dead. And that's a -4, leaving me at a 3. That is not good enough. Okay, yeah, -4, yep. Shaniqua's not there, so it's not going to attack me. So, alright. We will try one last time. And this time, Akachi is going to commit some cards to help her attack one more time, this time with I think that's 8, nope, so it was 7 and then 2 more, so that's going to be a total of 9. That will be a 9. So, I think we're going to be able to hit it this time no matter what. Let's see. And we get a -1. Nice. Yes. So, that's enough to kill him. Looks like fishy guys turning into sushi guy. Sushi in Venice. I love it. So delicious. So tasty. Okay. Well, that was a very productive round. Alright, Carolyn is now done with her turn. And the enemy's ready. They were both exhausted, so nothing else, no attacks. And now we will gain our resource and draw a card. Resource, card. So Akachi gets, finally, the Holy Rosary. My goodness, we've been waiting for this all game. Starting to pray because she's so scared of Venice. Alright, Mythos to Doom. It's flipping next round. And we get Chaos in the Water. Oh my god. Okay. Carolyn will be testing a 3 versus a 4. And she gets -6. So it looks like a tentacle comes out of the water and slaps the innocent reveler, pulling her under and taking her into Shaniqua's devouring beak or whatever it is that it has. Okay, so we've lost 2 innocent revelers as sacrifices to Shaniqua. This is not looking good for the innocent revelers. The agenda will flip this coming turn, and I think that at this point there is a very large chance that once it flips, we're going to flip another innocent reveler, which is the final one, and all 3 will be sacrificed. That is terrible for the citizens of Venice. Alright, so Carolyn gets, or Akachi gets mesmerized, gets Surge, and we pull another Writhing Tentacle. More creatures for us to fight. The never-ending supply of them. So we're going to exhaust this guy with suggestion. Sir, stay back. Stay back, sir. And we draw another token, I believe. So we'll go ahead and draw another one. Yep. And we draw the top card of the encounter deck if we fail. I don't think we'll fail, but you never know. -1. Okay, good enough. He is evaded and exhausted again. I think he will die this turn. I think we're going to kill him this turn. But first, we want to get rid of the tentacle so it doesn't get an opportunity attack. We'll sing a little lullaby to the tentacle and make it fall asleep, go back in the water. So we're going to up our chances. We're only going against a 2, but I really need to kill this thing quickly, so I'll use the statue to up my chances of getting a skull. And we're down to 1 charge after this. So hopefully we draw a skull so we can kill it in 1 shot. And here we go. Yes, yes, it is a skull. That is good enough to kill this tentacle. The skull now, I believe, is a -5. So Akachi just barely killed this thing. Alright, so now we're going to evade the other Pullman. And actually no. Let's not evade him. We'll go ahead and bring on our Rosary so that it can up our chances of hitting and definitely help Akachi land these blows now that the skulls are worth a bigger minus. So Carolyn is going to try and attack the Baleful Reveler. I think she may be able to kill him if she lands enough hits. So we're going to attack him with a base attack of, nice, a +1. Okay, that is good enough. So he takes 2 more damage. And now he is down to 2 health. Carolyn may just be able to pull this off and kill this guy this turn. Alright, come on. We're going to do this. Let's do this. And it is a -1. That is good enough. Baleful Reveler is finally defeated. Carolyn has chopped him to smithereens. She's just going around the streets of Venice chopping up every bad thing that she sees. I think the liquor that she drank has really made her far more um, violent against these bad guys. Although it seems to have been quite a horrifying experience for her. Um, she's got 4 horror, so we're going to have to start mitigating that very, very soon. Okay, so we exhaust the Pullman and finally got rid of the craziness that was kind of bottlenecked into that one location. All right, so Carolyn draws for the upkeep, and she gets anatomical diagrams. I really like that card. Against those tentacles, it's really going to come in handy. And Akachi gets Missile Relay, which she's got plenty of evade cards, so it should be fine. I don't have to discard any cards yet for Carolyn. And we'll go ahead and we will get everybody ready now. Now the agenda is going to move. So this is the moment of truth here. It may take the final Innocent Reveler and put it under the agenda, so we'll see what happens. But there are still Mass Carnivaligors under the locations, so even if they get the last Innocent Reveler, we still get to flip it back to this side. So we still have some time to kind of get prepared for what's coming next. And we flip this guy. It looks like he is a bad guy, and he's not a hunter, so he'll stay there. So for now, it looks like bad guys are accumulating exactly where we had wanted to go originally. Should we pick up that last Carnivaligor, which I think is under the Basilica, maybe, then... Alright, so Carolyn's going to play True Grit. This will help her absorb some damage. I think this will be pretty helpful right now. She doesn't have a lot of health, so this is exactly what she needs. And if she's in the same location as Akachi, she can actually help tank for her a little bit too. Get the last clue, and I think we're gonna move for our last action. Ever since she took the last swig, or that previous swig of liquor, Carolyn's been doing really well. So I think that's the shot she needed. Her and Foolishness have just been on a roll here. Alright, so Akachi... Actually, before Akachi goes, I think Carolyn wants to party some more. So we'll go ahead and take some pills, painkillers. Take 1 pill, and that mixes real well with the liquor from my understanding. So she's now at 5 horror, and we'll work on that next round. So let's see, Akachi... She's definitely gonna want to exhaust this guy, so he doesn't. So we buy us a couple of rounds, and she'll exhaust him, and then move over to Carolyn's location. We want to keep the girls together because they definitely work much better when they're in the same location. When they're separated, it becomes quite a difficult challenge. Although they're both pretty well set up now to handle just about any situation thrown at them. So let's see. The Venetian Gardens has two clues. I think what we're going to do is just use the ability on the Venetian Gardens. I didn't think I would end up using it, but it's come in handy. Akachi is now just at 1 damage. Very nice. Who knew? It actually was helpful. And while we're at it, we'll use the Spirit Speaker ability to kick back the statue because it was almost exhausted or out of resources. So we'll go ahead and kick it back to our hand. Now we'll do our upkeep. Oh, Spirit Athame, this is going to be useful too. This will help our spells land more hits. And Carolyn gets another cheat death, so that's 2 cheat deaths. Carolyn is set up to take quite a beating and still survive if necessary, if it comes down to that. So far, their trip through Venice has been quite stressful and exhausting. Mythos phase. So 1 Doom on the agenda with 2 Mass Carnivaligors under locations. We are coming close to the end here. Carolyn, Abduction, test 3. She's got a 4 right now. So we'll go ahead and help her. Kakachi will commit Uncage the Soul for 2 more icons. And oh no! The autofail. Shaniqua does not want Carolyn to have any more resources. Too much partying for her. And Akachi just keeps getting lost. Lost in Venice. I could take the horror, but I think I'll move her over. We do need to get to that location anyway, so this actually might have helped us. We'll see. I'm not too happy or too thrilled about separating them, but this might be the move that we need. Carolyn's going to investigate this location, and -4, that's not good enough. Okay, let's try and investigate again. At least we don't have any monsters on us. And that's a -1. Okay, good enough. So we grab another clue and a resource. And there we go. Okay, I think we almost have the clues we need to get those final two things flipped, or the final innocent reveler flipped. So hopefully we can get at least one and save one, because this has been quite the slaughter in Venice. Okay, last search for clues, and that's another Chaniqua tentacle. So Chaniqua's not in play, -4. I think that's a failure. Yep. That's too bad. So Carolyn's exhausted. Akachi now. What are we going to do here? We don't have clues to flip this guy. I didn't even think about that when I moved her over. Shoot. Okay. I think we're just going to... Let me think here. We're gonna move her to the Guardian. Okay, so we move to the Guardian. And I think we'll go and engage that Pullman, or go to the location and fight him, just so he stops hunting us. And we're attacking against a 4. Actually, no, let's go back. Let's undo that move. So action 1, we move over to the Guardian, and then I think we're going to play the grotesque statue, because that's come in very handy. So let's go ahead and put that down. It starts with 5 charges again, and that could be a real lifesaver. So we'll go ahead and put that down, and then we'll leave her there and gain a resource. So enemy phase, Hunter moves, and we each get a resource, draw a card. So Akachi gets another Uncage the Soul. Okay, the willpower can come in handy. Oh, Carolyn gets Psychosis. That is... oh, that sucks. So Psychosis, the way that works, if you take a horror, you take a direct damage for each horror that you take. That's pretty brutal. I'm going to have to get rid of that. And to get rid of it, you have to use 2 actions. So, oh, a Writhing Tentacle. My god. Oh my god. And Akachi has Mass Hysteria, so we have to shuffle the 2 remaining Masked Carnivaligors. We'll just switch them from one location to the other. Things are starting to look ugly yet again. Carolyn is about to be surrounded. So, let's see. Oh yeah, I forgot to add a horror to Akachi for leaving the other location when she went to the Guardian. So she does take a horror for that. So another tentacle has slithered out of the water, and Carolyn is trying to fight with it. She tries to hack at it with her machete and misses. Tentacle slaps back, hitting her across the face and dealing 1 damage to her. Carolyn is bleeding out, and she is mentally panicking. She swings her machete again, and this time is successful. Number needed. Chops that thing up to smithereens. Back in the water with you. So she was able to take that tentacle out. All right, so do we move in here and attempt this willpower test? Yeah, Acrid Miasma, so we have to test a willpower of 2, but let's flip this over first. So Rialto Bridge, you lose an action when you leave it. That sucks. And it's got 1 clue in it. Okay, nothing terrible. Losing 1 action kind of sucks, but first things first, Acrid Miasma. We will test versus a willpower of 2. Carolyn has a willpower of 4 right now because of foolishness, and we pull a -4. So that's not good enough. She fails. She will just resolve the Hunter keyword instead of taking the damage or the trauma. So Hunter keyword, the thing moves closer to her. Stupid fish people. My god. Alright, now on to Akachi. She's going to go ahead and move in on this fish person. She is definitely much better equipped to deal with it, but it takes her 3 actions to get there, unfortunately. Alright, enemy's gonna attack Akachi, dealing her 1 damage, 1 horror. She can take it for right now, and that's fine. And now upkeep, we'll go ahead and get these girls readied, and no hunters under there, okay? Just making sure. Now, resource, and we'll draw a card. Akachi's deck is still got plenty of cards. We get another statue. We don't really need another one. So we got a lot of redundancy, something I didn't think about in this deck. I think I will definitely be modifying this deck after this game, because Akachi's hand has been full since like halfway through the game, and honestly a lot of them are redundant spells. So Mythos, looks like the agenda is going to move. So we flip one more over. Please be a bad guy. Please be a bad guy. And no, it's an innocent reveler. Oh my god. Oh, she has been sacrificed to Shaniqua. All 3 innocents have now been sacrificed. But the agenda doesn't flip when that happens. We still have 1 masked Carnivaligor under the thing. The Act deck does flip though, so here. Since the revelers were all killed, the first part doesn't apply. So as the last of them is sacrificed, the ground shakes violently and watery shapes looms above the island to the south from deep within the lagoon. The ritual nearly finished, the revelers in the streets begin to unmask. So we have to flip one of the masked Carnivaligors and put Shaniqua in play. So Shaniqua's going to go right in the middle. It's considered to be in play, but not in any location. We can't evade it. So that's going to be add another dynamic to the scenario. So Savia Corvi, it's a hunter. He can move across when he hunts us. So he literally can just go and engage Akachi if he wants to. So that kind of sucks. And then Shaniqua, there it is. It is out, and it is tough. It's got 16 health, and it does quite a bit of damage. So this huge monstrosity rises out of the waters of Venice, and just has writhing tentacles coming out of everywhere, attacking random innocent people and trying to kill our investigators and thwart them with their plans to end this madness. Oh my god. Lost in Venice again. Carolyn. She moved to the Guardian. Yeah, okay, we'll get her to the Guardian. So, Guardian gets to draw a card. So let's go ahead and draw a card. And it is reliable. All right, we got our second reliable. So I think this is really going to help us. Lost in Venice for Akachi. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. These girls just keep getting lost. This carnival is crazy. So at least they're close together still. We just need to move Akachi 1 over to get her in the same location as Carolyn. And I think we're just going to get rid of Psychosis, because it's going to be a problem later if we don't do it now. We're able to do it. And then we'll go ahead and play Reliable on our Machete. So Machete now, I am attacking with a base attack of 5 if it's the only creature that I'm engaged with Foolishness's bonus. That'll be a 6, so that's good. Alright, so we're going to use Liquid Courage, which now has 2 supplies after I do this, because Carolyn really needs some healing, and we're going to commit Fearless to the check that Liquid Courage requires. So potentially we can heal a total of 5 horrors. So Fearless gives us a +2 to willpower. Our base is 3. So that'll give us a total of 5. Foolishness gives us an additional 1. So we're actually testing a 6 versus a 2. So let's see. We'll pull this token. -2. Okay, so the check is successful. So let's heal all this horror Nice. We're down to one horror left. This is really good. And we're going to get, so that let us heal 2 additional horror. The Liquid Courage healed us 2 horror, so that's a total of 4 horror that we heal, not 5. My mistake. And we're going to use painkillers now, so that we can heal a damage. And we'll gain a horror. Okay. Carolyn is just sipping that juice. So good. But it's making her pretty fearless. And then she takes the pills too. Okay, so Akachi. Okay, she's in some trouble. She's got 2 enemies on her. She's gonna have to deal with them. And Carolyn is gonna have to go all the way around to get to her. So I don't know how we're gonna do that. So first thing we're gonna do is exhaust one enemy using suggestion. So that will be a -6. I think I still exhaust him. I do, but I lose a charge. So that's fine. So I'm down to 3 charges. But that's okay. It's very rare that we'll lose more charges. We can just use them to cancel attacks, but we should be okay. Okay, and then Savio Corvi is going to attack us for 1 and 1 at the end of the turn. But so we got to get rid of him. So let's see what we can do here. Song of the Dead down to 2 charges, and let's Grotesque Tattoo just to boost our chances of getting that skull. So that's down to 4 charges. Come on, skull. Come on, skull. Come on, skull. And there's a skull. So let's see here. Actually, I think the skull's a -5 now, so it might not even benefit us to pull the skull here. Oh boy, this is not what we wanted. We're gonna have to pick the -1. So yeah, we just do 1 damage to this thing. That sucks. That really sucks. This is going to be much more difficult with Song of the Dead now that the skull is worth so much of a negative modifier. Just to make sure that there's no additional hunters at that location. Okay, so I mean, we can still survive this, and we can still win this actually, even though we've lost all our innocent revelers. Akachi is now exhausted, and we're down to the enemy phase. So let's see. Yep, don't have to discard anything. Savio Corby's gonna attack me, and the other guy's just gonna ready. So we take 1 damage, 1 horror for Akachi. Savio Corby is not that tough, but he's just annoying right now. Okay, so upkeep phase, we gain a resource and draw a card. Alright, so Decorated Skull, don't really need it. Carolyn gets, again, a card we don't need. This late in the game, I think we're going to start pulling cards we don't need. So, Akachi, let me see how many cards she has. She'll probably just get rid of Shriveling. I have way too many spell cards. And alright, Mythos phase. So we had a Doom to the agenda and draw another Pullman. Oh man, we're getting surrounded again. Okay, and Watcher's Gaze. So looks like there are no revelers. So, but we'll have to test our willpower. We're gonna commit Uncage the Soul for 2 willpower icons. We have to pass this. We can't afford to take any extra damage, so that is a -5. A skull is okay, so the Watcher's Gaze has frightened Akachi. She is not happy in Venice at all. So she is up to 4 horror. Okay. Carolyn has no enemies on her, so I wish that there was a way that she could help right now. We'll just go ahead and move her, try to get over to the other side as quickly as possible. We're going to use the free move action on the one location. That way we can move even further up. So she'll take her check against the acrid miasma. Oh, the smell is so bad. And another skull. My God. These skulls have become a liability. There's no hunter keyword to resolve, so we'll just have to take a horror. Fun times. The smell is just overwhelming. And we'll take the damage on True Grit. That way she doesn't have to deal with that. Okay, so these guys... Savio Corvi has 1 damage, and we're going to attack him with Akachi. We're gonna use suggestion on him and try to just exhaust him with suggestion. And yep, so he is exhausted. Okay, and then we'll have to suggestion still with 3 charges. We're gonna have to Song of the Dead on this other dude. So we're going to commit some cards to the check here. We have plenty of cards in our hand, so we'll have to do that. We'll just try and evade him. So 6 versus 2 to try and evade. That way Akachi can just make a run for it. I think this is the best course of action here. Oh my God, another skull. That's a -5. That is not what we needed to get right now. Oh my God, we're just gonna try straight evade. Oh no. Not just that, now Shaniqua's in play, so it's gonna attack us. So we'll cancel damage using suggestion. Thank goodness that allows us to do that. So we'll spend a charge and cancel Shaniqua's damage. Alright, enemy phase. This other dude's gonna attack, and he's gonna deal some damage to Akachi. So now she is a 4 damage and 5 horror. Great. So we already did the attack against Akachi from that guy. So we'll just ready the other dude and then go into our upkeep phase. I don't know how we're gonna survive this. Akachi is very close to death, and she's got 2 guys on her, and there's a hunter that's coming for her. I don't know. This is rough. This is a rough one. So get a resource and draw a card, and it's Shriveling. Thinking back, I think I should have played Shriveling once that skull changed into a -5. You know, the bonus to hit was good and the extra charges were good, but at this point we needed to be doing more damage. That's a bad play on my part. We're going to discard Mylan Christopher. We're over on Carolyn's deck. Anyway, so we'll draw our Mythos phase, and it looks like it's Watcher's Gaze. Oh boy, okay. There's no Revelers, so we just gotta take the check or take the horror. So let's see. When we pull from the bag a 0, so Carolyn sees the Watchers staring at her, and she doesn't care. Keep staring. Oh, Akachi has been attacked by a tentacle from the water. Oh boy. Blind check. I think we're gonna have to just run it a -4. Okay. Oh boy. We are on the verge of death here. 1 more damage will take us out. We need to just be able to get away from these guys and run. So we're going to use suggestion to evade 1. Alright, and if we succeed by 2 or more, we keep our charges. No skull, no skull. -4. He is exhausted, and we succeeded by 2 or more. We got the 1 guy on us. We're going to have to use Grotesque Statue to ensure that we win. It's got 3 charges left. And here we go. Akachi pulls the statue out, and then... Oh, God. That is not good. Okay, 2 charges left from Grotesque Statue. We're going to try just evade, survive another round, and try to run next round. Okay, 0. Good enough. So he is evaded. They will not be attacking me in this round. So I think Akachi lives another round. Now we're just going to have to make a run for it next round. Carolyn is just hanging out there. We'll play Mr. Relay so we can avoid these 2 guys at this location when she moves in there. And we will play St. Hubert's Key to give us another bonus to intelligence and willpower. And a little bit of a threshold there that can help us heal in case she gets killed by horror. So Little strategy to help her survivability. Enemy phase, the hunter moves. Akachi needs to get away this round. Otherwise, she will most certainly be dead next round. Okay. Upkeep. Here we go. Draw something good. Get something good. Emergency cash. Don't really need it right now. Carolyn. Oh, God. Oh, God. So it's her weakness to fight the Black Wind. What that does, we add a Doom to the agenda and give Carolyn a horror. And every time she takes horror, if I don't heal it that round, we add another Doom to the agenda. So that gets discarded because the Doom threshold has been reached. So here we go. Doom flips, agenda flips. This is not going to be good. So the shadow of the eclipse is unrelenting. Throughout the city, a dull chant overtakes the screaming and the chaos. Its language, ancient and morbid. Now new agenda, chaos in the Carnivale. In the lagoon, an ancient terror stirs, the creature's tentacles cold around the city, and the water level begins to rise. As if in response, the chanting throughout the city grows louder. Okay, so we'll pull from the agenda, or the encounter deck, and chaos in the water. So we got to test 4 agility. This is a 3 versus a 4. This is going to be a pretty difficult test for Carolyn, but she can take the damage. 0, okay. We fail. So another tentacle slaps Carolyn, tries to drag her in, hitting her, but she's very, very tough right now. She's feeling ridiculously tough because of all the pills and liquor she's taken. Oh, God. Mass hysteria. This is not what Akachi needed. I think this does her in. We're supposed to flip the Carnivale Gorge, but there aren't any, so we have to take the other option, which is to do 2 damage. Akachi has been killed by trampling crowds. Hysterical Carnivale Gores have just stepped all over her and crushed her under their feet. She will now be a part of the acrid miasma that's been smelled throughout the cities. And with that, Carolyn will just go ahead and step in Canal Side to advance the act. And looks like we pulled a gondola, put it into play, and we have to test 2 fight or agility to put a resource in to row. We just have to get away. So because there were 2 players, even though 1 died, we need 8 resources on this thing to win. So doable, but tough. And so we'll go ahead and read this. Relief turns into desperation as the creature draws its attention to your gondola. You have only 1 chance if you are to survive. So when we draw the encounter deck, we draw 5 cards and pull out any tentacles we pull engaged with us, and we add 2 doom to them. So this will be interesting. Let's see if we survive. I think we lost Akachi due to bad plays, to be honest. The deck was decent. There are some tweaks I definitely want to make after this, but I think we should have played Shriveling after a certain point just to help us kill things quicker, more quickly. Also, when she got moved by that loss in Venice, that was her undoing, because instead of moving there, she could have just been closer to the Canal Side and maybe just dashed in. So bad mistakes in playing, I think, is what caused her to die. But Carolyn is doing pretty well. She has 2 panic buttons, so she might actually make it. Carolyn's got her foolishness with her and her liquor bottle, and she's going to row. So we'll go ahead and row the boat. And that's a failure. -5. She was not able to row quick enough. We'll try again. And not good enough. This is not going to be easy, is it? Alright. Upkeep. Gain a resource. Nice. Okay, this will really help if we fight a tentacle. That anatomical diagrams can help us kill them very quickly and easily. Doom on the agenda, and we'll go ahead and flip 5 cards. Let's see if there's any tentacles. 2, 3. Come on, no tentacles. 4. And of course, the last one has to be 1. Okay, so it's engaged with us. It gets 2 doom. We're going to have to deal with it first and then continue rowing. I think we can kill it in the first attack. So we'll play anatomical diagrams, reducing its fight value by 2, which means that we're going to be able to attack it. The only thing that can have us fail is the autofail token. So here we go. Auto fail. 0. Okay, so it's dead. We chopped it. Chopped it with the machete. Get away from the boat. And let's try to row. Let's row as quickly as possible. Come on. -1. Okay, that's a resource. 7 to go. So Carolyn starts moving that gondola forward. All right, let's try one more time. And she rows. Oh, God. And she fails. Now, this is going to be far more difficult than I thought. And upkeep phase, get a resource, draw a card. Okay, we can use this gun to commit it for a fight, so that'll definitely help. And we have some resources to help us with using Kenai to help us boost that for the entire round, that fight value for the entire round. So we may not be in as tough a position as I'm letting it up to be. So we're reshuffling the encounter deck. We did pull 2 cards already, so we'll continue pulling. 3, 4, no tentacles, and 5. Good, no tentacles. We can just spend the whole round rowing. Let's try this. So I think what we're gonna do now is we'll just pull straight. No, mind over matter would be good. Yeah, because we can attempt 3 times at a higher value because of our intellect being so high. This is the right play, I think. So she puts her mind into motion here and starts rowing. Come on. Oh, nice. She heals a horror and gains a resource. That resource will help with Kenai, so we can take as many as we can get. Okay, and now it gets a resource, so 6 to go, 2 down. Let's row. So ferociously rowing this gondola, and a -1, that's good enough. So that's 3 resources. Cool, we're getting, slowly but surely we're getting there. 1 more, and that's good enough. So now we have 4 resources. So I think 2 more rounds, and I think we can win this. And take Akachi's body back to the States for proper burial. Okay, Mythos threshold is reached, and I think the Chaniqua's gonna attack us now. Let's see. Great tentacle arms, covered in anchored slime rise from the canals and lash at you. So he attacks us. 2 damage, 2 horror. That's tough. Okay. So let's see. Here you go. Come on. Okay. Anything else special? Nope. So 2 damage, 2 horror. And I think we'll let True Grit go away. That way we can just take 1 damage. We can definitely take the horror, so we'll be fine with that. So we are now at 5 horror. So okay. And we'll go ahead and add the 2 horror to Mylan Christopher. We don't really need them anymore. Even if we get another mind over matter, we can still have a really nice bonus to the check. So come on. Oh, another tentacle. Okay, just 1 tentacle. That's fine. As long as it's just 1 at a time, we can kill him in 1 hit. So we should be okay as long as we only pull 1 at a time. Okay, so Carolyn wants to hack this tentacle and then continue rowing. This time we'll use I've Got a Plan. She's got a ton of clues, and this will allow her to deal full damage, maximum penalty for this tentacle. Oh, come on. If we land this hit, we win, I think. Oh, way to add a little more tension to this. Come on. +1, nice. So that goes away. Bye-bye, buddy. Okay, so Carolyn will continue rowing ferociously. There's no way she can kill this thing from the boat. So we'll commit the 32 Colt and try our combat ability to row the boat. So now we're rowing at a 4. 4 versus 2. I think the odds are oh, geez. Auto-fail. No. I'll try again. This time 3 versus 2. And do we have anything we can commit? Yeah. We'll go ahead and commit a no stone unturned. And we'll commit it, so we'll be again a 4 versus 2. Come on. 0. Nice. Okay. 5 down, 3 to go. If we don't pull any tentacles, we may be able to win next round. Come on, Carolyn. Just keep rowing. Upkeep card. Nice machete. Okay. So the machete will be good. We can commit that as well to a test. So I think we might actually do this. We might pull this off. Knock on wood. 5. Oh, man. Here I thought we weren't going to get a tentacle. Okay. Again, at least it's just 1. So let's try to hack at it. 5 versus 2. Just a base. We have 2 reliables on our machete. Okay, nice. He just goes away. Bye-bye, buddy. Okay, and now for our rowing test. Let us row away. We'll commit the machete that we have in our hands for a fight icon, and now we're going a 4 versus a 2. Come on. That's a -1. So we do get another resource. We need 2 more. 2 to go. We've got this next round. So 2 we can get. Even if we get a tentacle, we can kill it in 1 hit and then get our 2 resources on that gondola. So we pull a cultist. That's not good. If we fail, yep, we failed. Okay, so if we fail, we have to pull a card from the encounter deck. So encounter card, and we get put the Carnivale of Horrors guide there. So it looks like we get Mesmerize, and there are no Carnivale Gore, so it gets Surge, so we have to pull a different one. So pull a different one. Watcher's Gaze. Test 4. Okay, it's going to be an even check, 4 versus 4, and that's a -6, so we fail. So Carolyn now has 4 horror on her. That's fine. I'm not worried about that. So we'll do our upkeep and our mythos very quickly because we're just adding a Doom to the agenda, grabbing our last card, and our deck's going to get reshuffled. Astral Travel, not really useful right now. I wish we had that earlier. Kachi probably would have still been alive if Carolyn decided to travel into her location. So we'll shuffle our deck. We take a horror for this because we ran out of cards. Put those down. Carolyn takes a horror. 2 damage, 5 horror. Again, I'm not worried about the horror because I have some cards to get away. Oh, tentacle. Oh no. Please don't be another one. Please don't be another one. Okay, good. Okay. We can deal with this. If there's a round where we pull 2, we might be screwed at that point. Okay. We got to finish it this round. Let's do this. So we're going to use a resource to play another Anatomical Diagrams. And autofill is the only way to lose. Now that we've fought so many of these, Carolyn has a deep understanding of their anatomy and knows where to hit them. -4, good enough. Bye-bye tentacle. And we'll go ahead and commit Astral Travel for the agility icon so that we can try and row. Going a 4 versus 2, and that's -1. So we just need 1 more. 1 more. We can do it this round. 1 more. Come on. And 0. Oh my god. We actually did it. This is done. And yep, 4 per investigator. We got that threshold. Here we go. The skin on your hands blisters, rubbed raw by the ore, and your arms ache with pain. The creature's movement is slow, its body covered in acrid slime, but its countless tentacles lash at you from the dark waters, coiling around your gondola and attempting to pry the ore out of your hands. With a heart-wrenching snap, the ore splinters into 2 pieces, the bottom half splashing into the lagoon. You desperately try to propel the gondola forward, using any means you can, but it is futile. The beast gains on you, looming over the boat with an impossible feathery shape, its tendrils reaching out for you. Above it, the black shape of the moon begins to slide. A thin crescent of sunlight pierces through the mist as the eclipse ends and the creature's tendrils recoil, surround its body, slowly sinks into the lagoon, its body melting as the sun escapes its prison. Meanwhile, the city is still recovering from the events following the eclipse. With nearly all the evidence of the creature melted away by the hot sun, many attribute the violence during the Carnevale to local crime lord Casco di Boerio. Those who know the truth know better than to speak of the creature that lives in Laguna Venetia. With any luck, its name, Shaniqua, will never be spoken again.
Ah, poor Akachi. Well, at least her friend Carolyn has another excuse to have another drink. Perhaps Carolyn can even invite Shaniqua for the celebration of Akachi's burial. Well, my valued guest, it is time to turn in for the night. Hopefully, you can sleep after such a horrifying tale. Until next time, try and get some rest.